Welcome back, geniuses. In this video, I'll be covering code mode. In our previous video, we covered discovery mode and how it works with ApexGenius, how you have to sync your metadata directly to ApexGenius for code mode to work, or for discovery mode to work. But in this video, we'll talk about code mode and how it is a little different from discovery mode. So how to enable code mode? We have this code mode icon right here to the left in the chat input area. Right now, code mode is toggled off. So if we toggle code mode on, we see that our chat session pane collapses and we get this project pane. This project pane has two tabs, Files and Salesforce. So in Files, this is our file system. Like when we want to retrieve metadata from Salesforce to edit it and then deploy, or if we want to create new metadata, create a new field and Apex classes, that all gets created here in our file system so that we can deploy it to Salesforce. So we also have the Salesforce tab, which contains a list of all of the Salesforce metadata types, and we can click the drop down and we can see each one of the metadata components. And we can simply hit retrieve and we'll see these modals pop up saying that it has been successfully retrieved. When we go back to files, we see it in our file system. So we retrieve two Apex classes, and then we get back the Apex class and their related meta XML files. We click this, we see, yep, the code has been successfully retrieved. So some of the capabilities of code mode is, one, as you just saw, retrieving metadata from the org into our file system. It can read files, it can write files, edit files, execute Apex scripts, deploy to the org, and retrieve metadata from the org. So let's do a simple update. So let's say, can we update the author of the case trigger and where it's ApexGenius, please? So here will be a demonstration of it just doing an update to the Apex class. So just like before, it starts to think, it lists out the Apex classes that exist. It says, okay, there's no author tag, but we still want to update it. And it does the update. We see that we have edited the file, and we see it here that we made the update to have the author as ApexGenius. And if we click right here on the file, we see that it was in fact updated to ApexGenius. So we just didn't update to a file. How about if we want to actually deploy this to the org and test it out? We have these follow-up questions that are contextually relevant. So let's say I want to deploy this to Salesforce. So hit deploy to Salesforce, and the agent will call the deploy tool. It will know that we're talking about the case trigger handler, and it fires off the deploy. So great. The metadata has been deployed to Salesforce. Here, we have the human in the loop element, where once it deploys, it stops and goes back to the user, so the user can manually check the status. So we hit check status. Then when we hit check status, we either see that if it's still in progress, we'll get a modal saying, hey, it's still in progress. Or when it's done, we'll get this, deployment success. Deployment succeeded with 2 deploys, 0 failed. It said 2 deploys because it also deploys the meta XML. But this is how you can deploy metadata components through ApexGenius. We can also, not only do we have to hit retrieve manually here to retrieve metadata from ApexGenius, we can say, can you retrieve the case trigger and lead trigger? It can do it by itself without us doing it. So the user wants to retrieve it. It, of course, starts to think, see what the user wants to do, starts to plan out exactly how to do it. It says, okay, we have no triggers currently. Let's retrieve the case trigger. And then we can look in files. And it is retrieving the lead trigger. So great. It says we have retrieved them both. Oh, we have to refresh the files, and boom. We see that we have retrieved the case trigger and we have retrieved the lead trigger. And then this should work. Yes, great. So we can also click on the files directly in the chat area. So that was just a simple demonstration of code mode, like how we can use it to build metadata components, update metadata components, and ship them to our org in natural language without having to do any clicks or code.